lived up to the things that I once thought were the truth or the standard. Only ever spoke true to my truth, but in truth what I thought was the truth's been abandoned. But why? Bro, I can't lie, it's hard to reply to that, it's so complex. Why do you believe what you do? Answer me that just to give me some context.
I'm so excited to get into the
I love your chain hang glove, does it bubble to the club, does it shine?
Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me. I'm Petra from Sickle Cell Awareness movement, and I'm joined today by 6 ferocious warriors talking about sickle cell, mental health, and what it takes to be a warrior. You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I have an icebreaker. I'm going to start with you guys, okay? So, I'm Petra, I've got SS, and my warrior trait is perseverance. Alvin.
Oh, straight to me?
Yeah.
Pressure. I'm Alvin, and what was it? My warrior trait?
Your warrior trait, yeah.
I guess my warrior trait is entertainment. Yeah.
Okay. Mary?
So I think my warrior trait is like smiling, just smiling through the pain.
Smiling through the pain.
Yeah.
Are you SS?
No, I'm SC actually.
You're SC?
Yeah.
What are you, Alvin?
I'm SS.
You're SS, okay.
I like that. I'm Chris, I am SS, and my warrior trait is banter. Can I say it?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, it's your word.
Okay, let me be serious. My warrior trait is perseverance.
You just stole mine.
You need another one.
Well, say banter, entertainment.
Okay, my warrior trait is fluidity.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Emmanuella.
I would say, I'm going to pick 2 words. Okay. Determination and creativity.
Nice. Are you SS, SC?
SS.
SS.
I'm Jermaine, I'm SS, and confidence.
Definitely. That's good.
I'm Aisatu, I'm SS, and I would say my warrior trait is laughter.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll stick to laughter.
Okay. I like it. Okay. So I think the first question I want to start with is why talk about sickle cell? Why do we always want to talk about sickle cell? What's the need?
I think it's funny. I don't always want to talk about it. I mean, personally, yeah,
sickle cell.
Yeah, I mean, personally for me, I never used to.
Yeah.
I didn't want, like, I don't really want no one's pity. I've been through it, I go through it, and I've always kind of got out myself. And especially, I don't know if there's a much difference, but I know like a lot of men don't. From as long as I've known, like for men, it's, I guess we're seen as stronger or we're the man, so you know, kind of pattern. So for me, it was never really a thing to talk about. I never really told anyone, no one I was dating, until recently when I kind of met Chris.
Okay.
And that's when I was like, you know what, I guess more guys need to speak about it. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you're doing it as a service. You want to.
Yeah, you know, now to let people know.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying it should be a normal conversation you can have.
Do you ever feel like people feel sick about us? They just feel sick and tired of us talking about sickle cell all the time. Whether they,
I
don't feel like that.
Sometimes.
You do?
Yeah,
Okay.
Sometimes. I feel like sometimes my friends might be like, "We get it,"
Okay.
but I don't know. I think that's just how I feel.
See, my thing is, I don't care if you do, because we're going to talk about cancer, we're going to talk about every single other condition every single day. So me too, I want the right to talk about my condition every day and deal with it.
Yeah.
I also think that a lot of people are really intrigued and interested because a lot of people aren't fully clued up. So like, I get people saying, so when did you catch it? And like, some obviously ridiculous questions. But I mean, I like the fact that people are interested and like actually ask questions and want to know more. So I think for me, it's been a little bit different where like people are interested, but I'm still struggling. Just kind of like you to like talk about it and be more open. And it's been quite a journey to get here, but we are here.
We are.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I talk about it too much. I feel like I speak about it way too much to the point where someone asks me a question and I was like, do your research.
Okay, you're done.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes, because I speak about it like freely every day.
Okay.
So if you know me, you should like know.
That's good, you know.
You get me?
But do you feel like what's on the internet is the real, the true, the...
What, on Google's?
I mean, if you type in sickle cell in Google, you get a heart attack. It's like, oh.
Really?
I mean, some of the information.
Death rates.
Oh, right, yeah.
But I'd rather it be over-exaggerated, let's be honest, than under-exaggerated. Because then if it's under-exaggerated, it's like, oh yeah, they get a few pains and little aches here and there, then people won't take it seriously. But yes, think I'm going to die. When you think that I'm going to die, you're going to take me seriously and this condition seriously.
Yeah,
Do you get
That's actually so true.
I get it.
I ain't mad.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Sorry, I do find it a bit tricky though, because culturally we don't really speak about sickle cell that much.
Yeah.
Or I remember it was a thing that's like, don't air your dirty laundry in public. And so that was a big thing of like growing up not talking about it much. But now there is a wave and more people are open to discussing it. But I think the awareness is necessary, because if people don't understand how to help and intervene, things aren't going to improve for us. So that's why it's worth talking about.
Do you feel disabled? That word? Do you?
Wow. You went there.
That's a mad word.
Is it a disability?
When I need to get my blue badge? When I'm out
there, what's really funny is that I've never actually thought about it in that way. Because as soon as you said it, everyone's like, disabled, whoa, that's not me. But it's like, I'm disabled for by clinical terms I'm disabled. I don't necessarily classify myself physically as disabled, but if you're going to clinically call me disabled and give me then some benefits, then I might peep, you know what I mean? I don't complain, and that's what it is.
For me, I don't mind. I don't mind having the label disabled and using it, to be honest, because it's a situation where, as you say, in terms of benefits or moving around and getting the appropriate help and support, if you don't utilize the word, then. But obviously, the stigma with the stigma of disability. You think someone's in a wheelchair or someone's like. Arms, not having no arms, or
that's the issue.
It's just people need to understand the invisible disability. That's what I like the term invisible disability.
To be fair, when I'm sick, I am disabled, right?
Yeah.
I am.
You can't cook for yourself. Can't do much. You're limited.
To take myself toilet is a miracle in itself, if I could even do that. But I guess it's the fact that sometimes what's the word? I separate myself when I'm sick and Emmanuella when I'm well. So when I am well and it's like I use my blue badge or this, that and the third, I feel awful because it's like, people cannot walk, come here, I'm walking and I'm claiming this. I don't know, am I by myself?
I will put the badge and I will park very close to the
People look at me as well. That's the truth. People look at me as well, and because I have a decent car, so it's a bit annoying.
But I think I think people looking at you says more about them than yourself. And that's the truth. It's because literally not all illnesses are visible. So you don't know what's got There's people that I've got friends and family who are, for let's say example, autistic. They don't visibly seen as autistic, but in terms of having a conversation with someone, they find it hard. They're genuinely allowed a disabled badge with ease because they're seeing as they can't communicate to me. But they're going to step out the car looking also normal, and
that's
you can't really say it. So at the end of the day, it's like they don't know where you're going. You can park up outside the GP.
Do you know what? I want to say something to that because we are often on autopilot. So just because we're not in pain, in crisis right this second, doesn't mean we're not dealing with the consequences of sickle cell. So walking long distance, yes, I have problems with my lung now. So going to the gym is extra difficult. So there are things that I do without realizing that actually is me making sure that I'm not going to go into crisis. I'm constantly, so we're always switched on. Always switched on. But we just don't associate that with crisis.
And another thing just to add to that is that just because we're not in a full-blown crisis, like screaming our heads off, doesn't mean we're not in pain. I have to wake up and if I don't take my meds that one morning, I could be finished by 6 p.m. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes when you have to push yourself and go out and do certain things, I'm still out in pain. I'm just drugged up. Do you know what I mean? But you will never see it. And sometimes people only like take it seriously when you're in the bed and you're on the oxygen and you're all drowsy and all these things and more. But actually, no, there is still that like pains and aches that you go through.
Okay, so when you're not in the hospital or you're not drugged up or you look like Emmanuella, right? How do you feel when somebody doesn't believe you? When you say, I've got pain in my leg and they don't believe you?
You're mad. You're gonna, what do you mean you don't believe me?
Tell them.
Are you crazy? If I open my bag for you and you see all my medication, tell me you don't believe me.
I'm a drug dealer, honestly.
You know what I mean? How are you going to tell me you don't believe me?
At this point.
For me, I've got so much hospital records that I don't even like argue with people anymore. Like if they don't want to understand, I'm like, I have enough proof myself to know like what I'm dealing with. So I don't need your validation. It is difficult sometimes to come across those people, but it's like, I definitely don't need your validation. I don't need you to let me know what I've dealt with and what I've gone through, because I know what I have.
That's your own, innit? If
Yeah.
you don't believe it.
I mean, Pip doesn't believe you.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm talking about medical.
Do you know what I went through?
When I'm in terms of keeping all your records, it's so important because going through like benefits process or going through PIP is difficult, it's hard, I'm not gonna lie, but if you have enough, you need enough records and enough like backing and help to get you through that process. But it's a difficult thing, and it's even peanuts sometimes in comparison. But
I'm gonna keep real with you. It's flips I've done.
Really?
They can call me a clown where I've been juggling stuff for them to prove that I'm ill.
Yeah.
They might have said no,
bro. But zero
every time.
I had to get like actual outside help to help me in terms of like professional help. Because it got to a point where I was like, I'm in hospital bed a lot, or I was in and out of hospital. They weren't believing me. I couldn't. Getting carers and stuff, they wouldn't believe all of that stuff. So it's like professional help.
How does it make you feel that you have to justify your pain to these people?
It's mad.
It's
I shouldn't have to justify my pain to no one. Like, if I'm telling you I'm ill and you're telling me I don't believe you, I'm gonna look at you like you're the mad one because it doesn't make sense. Like, I'm ill and you don't, are you in my body? You're not in my body, you're not feeling my pain. Nothing. So how can you not believe what I'm telling you? It's
and the worst thing is that it's not a feeling. If you're to draw blood from me right now and you test it, what would it say?
Exactly.
So can you argue with science?
But it's worse.
Do you get what I mean?
When you're in hospital, it's kind of worse because I look at it like I'm looking at you, doctor, nurse, whoever you are, and I'm telling you I'm in pain. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. It's like, do I want to be here?
Or like a drug addict.
Do I want to be drugged up? Do I want to be waiting on you lot to give me painkillers? I don't want this. Get me? So I'm not going to lie. There's some people that do, but I'm not one of them. Do you get me? So it's like I'm not lying to you. I don't have anything to benefit from lying about me being in pain. So it's worse. Even when it's out on road, when it's out on people, then my friends, it's like, listen, that's your own. If you don't believe me, you don't believe me. Get me? I don't need to prove to you. You're not going to help me. You understand? But when I'm in hospital and I'm waiting for painkillers, I'm waiting for treatment. You understand? And it's like, that's just my thing.
That's highly rare across the board.
I think on that we can all relate.
I feel like you have to, when you're in hospital, you have to be on their case. Because if you're not, like, that's it. Like, you have to be on their case. When I'm in hospital, I'm sorry, if I don't want you to take care of me, you're not doing it, you're not touching me, because I'm not going to sit here and let you kill me, God forbid. Like, if I need painkillers, I'm telling you I need painkillers, and you're like, oh, just wait 1 minute, like, you're okay. I think a nurse said to me, oh, you're not even in that much pain, like, you look fine.
I've had to
I said, huh? I looked at her and I was like, really? She's like, yeah. I said, really? She's like, yeah. I was like, okay, I don't want to speak to you. Can I get another doctor? I don't want to talk to you anymore. She's like, well, I was like, you don't ever tell someone they're not in that much pain. How would you like it if I pushed you down the stairs? Sorry. I was like, I should push you down the stairs and then tell you your leg's not broken.
You have to.
Does anyone record their nurses or their
I'm gonna start.
I've recorded, it's so funny because I video came up the other day, but I recorded a video of myself calling for help.
And obviously it was a Snapchat video. The Snapchat video was a minute long, and this was at a time where the hospital wasn't even that busy. I recorded 2 videos, so I think and they just weren't coming, and it was just. You can see, like, from the video, I was watching the video back and I was just looking at myself, like, right, like, you can see I'm in pain. I'm crying out, I'm saying, nurse is there, nurse is there, nurse. Obviously, I'm not even shouting very loud because I'm breathless at this point, so I'm literally just trying my best to. And I was just like, wow, this is actually crazy. Like, there was one I should have recorded though, because that guy filmed that day anyway. If you like. Oh my days. There's been some crazy.
I've had a nurse say to me, "Oh, we're not going to give you morphine. We're going to give you paracetamol."
Oh God, have mercy on my soul.
Why? Sorry, why? Oh, you know, we give morphine to when you're like in like a level 5 pain. I'm like, yeah, but I'm in an 8. I'm like level 8 pain, but you're not really in that much pain.
And
I asked how do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, because you're not rolling around hollering. This was her words.
That was verbatim.
Verbatim, you're not rolling around hollering.
That would drive me insane. I can't lie. I can't sit there and I can't chat to you no more. Don't chat to me. I don't know how you did it. Sorry to interrupt.
You see me, I just, do you know what? Thank God I'm a Christian, because I start praying in my head. If I don't pray, it's going to be long.
Yeah.
This is the thing, not everybody rolls around. Like sometimes you have to control the pain, control yourself to control the pain.
That's it. But you have to move mad.
Yeah, sometimes there's a lot of energy to like
It's
really
scream.
Sometimes I have to be
just breathe.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, everyone deals with everything different.
Thank you. I didn't want to step on anyone's toes. I don't want to speak on everyone. I wanted to say exactly what you say, bro.
Trust me, like, so if someone rolls and that's how it helps them, that's what they do. If someone needs to drink like 5 gallons of water and they're just completely silent, that's how they deal with it. But if I'm telling you, this is where I'm at, the pain is here, and this is what I need. I've been doing this for more than 20 years. I can tell you what I need and when I need it.
Honestly,
On that
I feel
note,
like we're professionals.
how do you feel about other people's pain? Do you find it hard to be empathetic to others when they're in pain?
I feel like occasionally it does happen, because once you deal with too much pain, you kind of start numbing certain things out, and that's where it becomes tricky, and you do not want to always get to that place. You want to still be opened, but sometimes it's all like, if you're taking or seeing too much other people's pain, it also can trigger you. So sometimes you have to put up like some protection of yourself. But I do feel like having sickle cell has made me a bit more empathetic in comparison to who I was before. Things used to creep me out. I used to be like, no, like I'm not even gonna look at that, or I'm not gonna.
It's interesting you say more empathetic.
I think so.
Do you all feel that way?
Just depends, actually.
Okay. Your friend has a migraine.
Okay, no, not all the time. Sometimes.
Kick a throx.
Take paracetamol.
Do you know what I mean?
And ibuprofen.
It is none of my business.
I think if they try to compare it to sickle pain, it's like, we take similar type of medication. I'm like, fam, we don't deal with the same thing.
But sometimes like, I think the best way, I think I'm definitely empathetic regardless, because that's just me, like my nature. But sometimes you can be cheeky with it, do you know what I mean? So someone will be like, oh, my belly's like, oh yeah, I felt that one time when I was dying. Yeah, what does it feel like? That's what you got you. So then they're like, do you know why it's funny though? Because you say it, then they realise themselves about it. Do you know what? This might not be that painful, you know? And then they fix it. So I mean, sometimes, but I think it depends on who you're around in it and what they're going through. Because there's some people you talk to, they don't know you have sickle cell, so they might be complaining about some pain. And you're just gonna be like, yo, be alright. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just talk to them on a level where it's like, you know, you're in pain right now. I'm not, so I know how you feel if I was in pain, kind of thing. So I guess
you're better than me in that case. I find it very hard to be empathetic to others with their pain. I find it very difficult because every day there's something. So you know, okay, I deal with it every day. This is 20 minutes for you. That's just.
But truth is, I completely get that. I feel like as much as I like when I'm in pain, I've just got to a point where like if it's not a certain amount of pain, I can just run through my normal day like on a normal basis. So sometimes like, I've got a headache and I need to sleep. It's like, bro, my life is headache. Let's keep it going. let's keep it going, because if it's not a 7, I don't want to hear it. If it's not an 8, I don't want to hear it. If it's a 6, then maybe we can have a conversation. Below that, that's your business. You can probably pick like an ibuprofen, but if once you're not doing the cycle of codeine or ibuprofen, paracetamol, and that's your 4-hour rotation, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, that's your rotation, then you're not doing pain. You're not on the same level.
Well, look, before we get into the nitty gritty, I want to ask how you feel about sacrificing an element of your privacy, sacrificing yourself to raise awareness for sickle cell.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
Why are you looking at me for?
telling the world you have this condition, it's a disease, unattractive.
Very.
How do you feel?
I feel like vulnerability is like so hard for me. Like genuinely, I think just being Nigerian, there's this pride that we must have. It's like we cannot be this, we cannot be that, and so to be so vulnerable, and this stems all the way back, and I think as a woman it's slightly, I mean obviously the guys, let us know what it's like for you, but as for a woman, I think it's like so much harder, because I feel like there's this sense of you're unwanted because you have this condition, and as a woman you're supposed to be nurturing, you're supposed to be motherly, you're supposed to be a wife and be able to be this, all these things and more, but you're sick. And so now the man, not all the time, but it's as though he may have to play your role as well, and it's a bit crippling for me to now be vulnerable and open with, you know, partners and just in general with people, because I feel like they're going to now look at me as less of a woman. It takes a lot of like courage, to be fair, and when people say that, I used to think, oh yeah, sure, yeah, it's all easy, but when it now happened to me, I was like, bro, my whole life, my whole pants is outside.
But you know what, I've never thought about that. I always think about like the idea of dating, especially as a female, someone with sickle cell is completely different. And like you mentioned it there in terms of the transparency thing and almost feeling unwanted, it kind of like reinforces the idea that it's like, of course it's difficult. Like as a guy, we quote unquote, we are typically the pursuers. So then I have the pick of the bunch. I'm going to choose somebody. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to choose someone that doesn't have sickle cell or doesn't have ALS or whatever. I have that kind of that choice, so to speak. Whereas in theory, women are the chosen, or based on the way society is kind of set up in a traditional sense. So it makes it difficult. But then when we're talking about the transparency thing and talking about it, like I mean, Alvin, like I'm like almost on two opposite ends of this side of the spectrum. Is that I've wanted to be open about it and transparent because of, like I said, I've gone through many of my life about knowing people with sickle cell and situations like that, and that's because I found out that I wasn't talking about it. So if I'm not talking about it, how's someone going to come to you and say, oh yeah, I have sickle cell, because I'm not doing that, I can't expect that from someone else. The dating situation where you're talking to somebody, you fall in crazy like, you're like, well I have sickle, you're like, oh yeah, me too, you're like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, nobody wants to be in that
That's
point.
What I'm afraid of, like, sorry.
It's exactly that.
I want to get to know you, find you, and then like you, and then you tell me your sickle cell, it's like, oh, really? And then I've got to think, do I really want to
this?
Like, I don't want to be in that predicament. I just want to just like you and just have fun. And just, you know, get me in that.
Well, you know what? When I first started talking about sickle cell, I felt physically nauseous. I felt like, oh my God, I've just told everyone my deepest, darkest secret. And on top of that, I was raised in a really like, you know, you're strong, you can do anything, like really empowering environment. So to have sickle cell and to tell people that I'm weak, you have to get to a point where you think, well, it's not about me. And all of a sudden, sickle cell is not about you, it's about we.
That's what it took me losing my mum for me to say, yo, it's not about me, it's bigger than me. Yemi, I'm more than just a sickle cell warrior. I am a sickle cell warrior because, and what I've noticed, If it's not creativity, if it's not talent, if it's not dedication or ambition, there's something within us warriors. Do you understand? There's something that's built in us that we just have to just embrace, and we'll understand how that motivates and inspires others. That's just my take on it. So.
True.
I like the passion firstly. That was like, I was like, yeah.
That's another one. That's a short trait. It's confidence and passion. I forgot the second one.
Passion.
Thank you.
That is definitely.
I was like, yeah.
So, the whole point of this discussion is obviously to get your points of view from directly from warriors, what it's like to be a warrior. And specifically I'd like to talk about Evan Nathan Smith and the feeling he must have gone through before that moment of passing. And each of us have had near-death experiences at least once. I know that I've had at least 3 times, 3 times in my 20s. And just hearing the story and thinking about the anxiety of I need oxygen, I need air, no one's listening to me, no one's believing me, so much so that I have to call an ambulance, I have to call 999 from the hospital bed, feeling like you are alone. What does near death feel like?
The pain is feel like going and not accomplishing what I planned to do, or leaving my loved ones around behind, or it's that fear of knowing that I'm helpless, that I can't change this. I can't do anything to change my predicament. That's the fear. That's scary. It's scary being like knowing that, wow, this might just be it for me, and I can't even do anything to change that. Yeah, that's my answer anyway.
Yeah, for me, it's the fear of many number of things. In terms of the fear of the unknown, is like you don't know what happens beyond this bit. The fear of that, actually, am I dying? Why? What's going on? It's almost the fear of the questions that are going on around you, and it's almost like there's the non-fulfilling side of things in terms of your life. It's like I could die here in this moment, and they're having experienced A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it sounds trivial when you say it like that, but it's scary in the moment because you don't know, like you don't know you don't know where you are at this point. Imagine if you're at the edge of a cliff and everything's just black around you. You don't know if you take a step back or you go forward, and what kind of outcome it is, and it's scary to the point where it's really hard to surmise and put into words. That this kind of captures it in a succinct way, but it's just darkness in the sense of I don't know whether I'm going to die here or I'm going to go back and be back to normal. I don't know how my parents are going to feel. I don't know how my family are going to feel. I haven't achieved this, and there's just questions upon questions upon questions that you cannot answer.
Yeah. To bounce off.
Oh no, literally the same. It's like everything I've wanted and like I haven't yet done. So just actually almost dying, it's like, oh God. At that point you're praying like constantly, like I don't want to be here. As much as I can't take the pain, I'd rather be in pain. Like I don't want to actually be feeling this like emptiness, like you're almost kind of gone, like you're just empty for me. And it's like, like you don't actually, yeah. I don't even know, it's quite hard to fully talk about it and like explain it. But yeah, definitely like fear, scared. Like,
Emmanuella?
I feel like my answer is a bit different, and I don't know if it's okay, but I think for me, like my number one, my top experience where I almost died, should I say I made peace of it? I just didn't care. Because at the time I was 25. I've gone through 25 years of pain, constantly, on, off, start, stop, disrupted my whole life. I already wasn't where I should be at the age of 25, and I was just tired. I was like, well, no more painkillers, no more stress, no more this. if not that God, you know, made a way that I'm still alive, I was okay to go because I was done. So, thank you.
For me, it was there's a sense of like disappointment, almost similar to what everyone says, like, right, I ain't done this yet, I ain't done that. I think it's weird because the first time I had my near-death experience, I didn't know I was having it. Until I realised after that I could have had a cardiac arrest. So for me, I was saved basically, and I was in my head. I was just like, raw, like, all right, God, you've kept me here for a reason, innit? And I think after going through that, you realise like, raw, like, I could have been, like, every day, like that day, every year, I'll just think, raw, I might have not been there. Do you get it? Like, literally, you just think, raw, if certain, it's so crazy because you just think if certain things didn't happen that day, I wouldn't have went into the hospital, wouldn't have got help. And it's like, so in that moment, it's like, raw. But in a couple of years, I had obviously different moments where it's like, I just remember being on the bed and like, obviously my whole family was there in it. I was just telling them I love you, do you get it? And for me, it was so mad because I'm never that type of person, never that type of person. So even in that moment, I just started crying. So many things happened, like that whole sentiment of like not being where you want to be. And in your mind, you're just like, you know what? I'm kind of like, you're not even at peace with it, but it's almost like, let me accept it, innit? So,
that's the word.
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't want to cry for you, but you saying what you're saying, I'm feeling like I know exactly what you mean. So I'm not trying to, I'm crying for you. It's just, I get everyone. I understand why there's even a mental block of being able to express it and say what that moment feels like. But I really want everybody watching this to understand it's really hard to verbalize, but there are many things that go through your mind. I know in each of my near-death experiences, one of which I also didn't know was happening until after, I go through a checklist of things that I should have done or need to do before it happens. And it's that feeling of incompleteness. You haven't accomplished, you haven't done, because we are warriors. We were supposed to do it. We were supposed to make it. And I haven't. And you just know. You know, the doctor doesn't come to you and say, you're going to die, or you're nearly there. You know, your body knows. We've just discussed Nathan Evans Smith, who passed in his hospital bed after calling 999. He had sickle cell, and we lost another warrior in the last few months, Richard Okurage. And I really want to talk about sickle cell and mental health because we don't know the story. We don't know Richard's story. And the way it unfolded in the news, it appeared that he was going through some sort of trauma, or he was going through something emotionally or mentally. And we're often expected to get up and, you know, you're not in any pain now, so you should be fine now. So I'd like to understand from you, what is it like dealing with trauma once you've recovered? You're supposed to be back to normal. How long does it take before you get back to normal, and do you ever get back to normal?
There is no going back to normal. If you've been punched in the face, you know the feeling of being punched in the face. If you've been, if you've twisted an ankle, you've broken a bone, you know what that feeling is like. So if you've been almost at death's door, you know what that feeling is, and that doesn't disappear. This is life. Unfortunately, it leaves a deep-rooted scar within you. It's like, actually, I don't want to be that space again. I don't want to get there. I know this is what it feels like, and this is the position that I'm in. And it's kind of like, again, once you reach there again, it's like, here we go again.
Stress can really kill you.
Stress
you could be fine, but if you're mentally not okay and you're stressed mentally, I was in the hospital for so long. I think a whole month straight or 2 months in and out of hospital for 2 weeks, a week, all because I was stressed and mentally struggling. And then once I got out, I was like, you know what? I'm done. Nothing can stress me now. You cannot come and stress me again.
Myself.
One of my self-care tips is I can't come and kill myself.
You can't come
and kill yourself.
Honestly,
when that song came out,
that
song was on repeat.
Yeah, I agree.
Honestly, you have to say that.
To just not care.
Yeah, one of the main things is like if something starts to stress me, I just clock out.
100%.
Because I'm not even there for this. I'm actually old now, so this. I'm old but young, guys.
If you had to tell the viewers today one thing about sickle cell, what is the one thing you want everyone to know about sickle cell? Quick fire.
Donate blood.
Donate blood.
Get tested, know your genotype.
Yeah.
Someone said it.
Oh, yes.
Know your genotype.
Not everyone with sickle cell is the same.
Yeah.
Right.
I think do your research as well. Like, take your time and do your own research. Like, don't just go off what you're hearing. Like, sit down and actually like look into things and watch different videos and see what it actually means and like how people live with it.
Jermaine?
Being vulnerable is not a bad thing.
That's really definitely.
It's not a bad thing.
I think definitely in terms of vulnerability it has to be something because but definitely also kind of like just living your own path. Like you have to run your own race as well.
Yeah.
I have one. Support your warriors. I think support your warriors is, for me, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have half the support. And I know warriors that have no support whatsoever. I don't know how they're doing it. And if you can support your warriors in any way, whether that's to get to the school they want to go to, get PIP sorted, make sure they've got food during lockdown. Like my sister dropped food during lockdown. Like we became so close after that. Just show love to your warriors. Yeah. So just to wrap this up, how much is enough support? What would support you? Alvin, what would support you?
What would support me is a good question, actually. What would support me? Probably just taking time to talk to me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I said thank you a lot today.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah, just talk to me, man. If you talk, you'll know how much you know you can go forward.
Okay, Mary, what would support you right now?
I think information, so in terms of talking, but do you know like when we are able to share information amongst each other and even see things that we can benefit, because I feel like that's key, like, you know.
Chris?
Mine might be kind of like contradictory, but mine is don't worry too much.
Definitely. I hear that.
Is that something that would support you?
Yes, because I feel like some people over worrying about me kind of puts me in a position where I feel I have to overcompensate to stop them from worrying, whereas I'm too busy trying to deal with my own kind of
I saw that with my parents, to be fair.
Yeah, it's like I know what I can handle, I know what I've got going on, like, chill, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna go around in the circle as well. I would say listen to us and let us express ourselves. Give us the tools and the resources that we need to be 100% us.
Yeah. Thank you. Just to touch on that, not listen to respond, you know, listen to understand.
Yeah.
Emmanuella?
Cash at me. Send me money. Okay, let me be serious.
She gives me life.
Cash out loaded. I'm joking. Okay, let me be serious.
Don't cut that one out.
I think. Do you know what? You could put my cash up here. I think it would be acts of service. I think that's my love language, but like literally helping me. I think because I live alone as well, it's a lot harder. I need to pay my bills, like sometimes to go out, top up the key. I have to do, yes, lockdown did help me utilize like online shopping a lot more, but before I would physically go to Tesco's, I would physically go here. You know, my hospitals and guys, sometimes doing that over an hour drive is a lot. If someone offered, okay, Emma, let me help you, let me drive you to your appointment. Like, I think people literally supporting me and not just saying, you could do this, babe, you got this.
Actually
get up and be like, okay, Emma, what needs to be done today? Because I always have like 10 things to do in a day, and it's so overwhelming to do it all. And then if I am in pain or feeling too weak, I could only maybe do 2 or 3, if that. Okay, but if I had support who could help me do this, take this off my hands, that would go a long way.
Jermaine? I kind of second that, obviously, but I'm a man, but I've been living by myself, so I'm not going to come call someone to come help me cook. If I don't cook, I don't eat. That's just how I am. If I'm not cooking, I'm not eating. If I'm not cleaning, my house is messy. But yes, so actual service. But listening, thank you. Listening to understand me. I'm very different. It's like just being understanding and taking the time out to understand, not just, okay, you've got sickle cell, okay, I know what to expect.
Yeah.
You know?
I would say the same as Alvin, like just having someone to talk to, not just about sickle cell, but just about everything, like laughing, about making jokes. That's why I'm thankful for my friends. Like, we literally joke 24/7, so that helps a lot, I think, for me.
Wow, thank you everyone. Thank you so much for joining me in this discussion. No, I appreciate you being here, and I feel like the people watching this, will learn something, but it's very easy to connect with you guys. And it's really important that we actually speak as warriors, as a group, together, and be honest and be real. The best way to learn about sickle cell is from the people that have it. Don't assume. Ask.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. And you can catch everybody on Instagram. It's just Instagram, right? No Cash App here, okay?
Cash App me. We all need money, okay?
You can go to Join Scream, join_Scream. I'll put everybody's Instagrams in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching this. Have a great Awareness Day.
That was good.
Oh yeah, no, we're walking up stage for real. Yeah, we gotta record that. Yeah, we gotta record that.
We are done. It's a wrap.
We gotta record the walking up stage.
It's a wrap, honey. We did it. I can't believe I said cash at me.
Hi guys, happy World Sickle Cell Day. So what does being a sickle cell warrior mean to me? So being a sickle cell warrior for me is basically being a fight every day between your mind and your body. And that sounds really morbid, but like, yeah, it is literally waking up every day and deciding, you know, who's gonna win? Who's gonna catch these hands? Is it gonna be my mind or is it gonna be my body? But also being okay with whoever does win, because it's a constant battle. I think being a sickle cell warrior means having to be really, really strong. And it's also about being vulnerable so the people around you can also help you. And that's not natural for a lot of people, being able to sort of succumb to that sort of thing. But as I always say, I have sickle cell now have me, period.
What does it mean to be a sickle cell warrior? Well, to me, it means to be a person that perseveres through the anxiety, through the depression, through the ups and the downs, through the pain, through the tears. We just keep going, keep pushing, never give up.
Being a sickle cell warrior to me is being able to have the mental strength and heart whilst being challenged by a chronic and acute pain crisis, whilst your mind wonders whether or not you can do this again. Mind over matter.
Being a sickle cell warrior is not only mentally draining with all the questions and fear that is constantly churning around in your mind, but it's physically the most painful thing in the world, to the point where you want the pain just to take you so you don't have to keep going through it over and over and over again for the whole of your life. And it's an extremely lonely battle.
To be a sickle cell warrior is to be brave, to be strong, to be courageous, to be bold, and to be determined.
To be a sickle cell warrior means to endure pain every day, but to still go on, to still fight, to never lose hope. Also, it means to be able to understand what other warriors are going through, and to be able to put our arm around them and support them. It's not easy, it's difficult, it's a lonely journey, many don't understand, but we still keep fighting. I'm a warrior.